Yo, shalom, shalom. You are now tuned into all that R.A.R.A with your Hebrew brother Mylo Judah. And brothers, for this episode, we're going to take, a two-dimensional dive with some three-dimensional perspectives, of course, into the shenanigans that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have going on. And we're going to get us, an understanding of why their relationship tends to pull on the heartstrings of the so-called black community so much, right? Because our people, we tend to idolize celebrities, right? Goals. That's what people say, relationship goals. And the gripe that I have about this whole situation, well, let me first say this. Brothers, if you have a wife, you should defend your wife's honor. But even the scriptures in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, it tells you that, it's pretty much a time and a place for everything. Right? When you read that chapter in its context, it tells you there's a time and a place for everything. So even as a comedian, if I was Will Smith and I didn't appreciate that joke, and my wife didn't appreciate that joke, I handle that in the back. Right? I go up to Chris Rock, I say something to him, I let him know that that joke was not appreciated. If it comes to fisticuffs, then so be it. And the gripe that I had with it was that, amongst the so-called black community, they clown Will Smith, which he rightly deserved because he allowed himself to go on the red table talk and get emasculated by Jada Pinkett Smith. Right? And, he allowed memes to be created about himself. But, for people to continually say, oh, I feel bad for Will Smith, or, Jada, she continually does Will Smith wrong, right? For now, them to say, oh, that's how you go out and defend your wife's honor. Where did she defend his honor? Where did she defend his sanity? Right? Where did she defend his peace? So, it's no reciprocation in a relationship. And the microcosm of it not being any reciprocity in their relationship is what so-called black women, they want today, right? They want to be able to do exactly what they want to do and have a man defend their honor just like that and simp to do it, right? So that's where you get these movements, protect black women no matter what, right? Or, protect all black women. But all black women do not deserve protection, and truth be told, brothers, you shouldn't just be protecting random black women because you don't know exactly what these random black women have going on. You protect your black woman or so-called black woman, perhaps, right? Your mother. If you have a brother who has a good wife, right? And you see something going down and your brother's not around, you protect your brother's wife. But all this protect these random women and all this bullshit? No. And when these women try to hit you with little shit saying, oh, you hate black women, oh, you have a black mother, ma'am, you're not my mother. So you can miss me with that. Will did that because he's broken. Right? And, Chris Rock cracking a joke on Jada Pinkett, that's pretty much cracking a joke on Will's ego. Right? So Will had to get up and slap the shit out of he had to get up and slap Chris Rock. But like I said, man, all of that comes from being a broken man. His ego is scorched. He won the Oscar, but that wasn't enough. Because if he was truly secure in who he was, he wouldn't have got up. He would have continued to laugh like he was doing. He would have said something to Chris Rock in the back. If it came to fisticuffs, then that's what it would have came to, right? But it's ways to go about things. You walking up to another so-called black man and slapping him, another comedian anyway. And like I said, I'm speaking from a two-dimensional perspective. But so, we all know that the Smiths are swingers. And on a three-dimensional level, they're pansexuals. But you walk up to a man who cracks a joke about your wife, your cheating ass wife, who has no problem emasculating you. If Chris Rock would have told a joke about you, your wife would have been fucking on the ground, holding her stomach, laughing. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say, man, you know, brothers, we have to pick and choose our battles wisely. And we have to always, you know, make sure that we're thinking logically, not emotionally. And we have to always, you know, vet these women. Choose a good woman, because most of these women, they're not good women. And I say that with all due love and respect to women. I have no hatred in my heart whatsoever toward women, but it's just the truth. Even the Bible tells you, right? Even in Proverbs 31 and verse 10, it asks a question. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. A ruby is extremely hard to find, and they are extremely expensive. And it asks you, who can find a virtuous woman? It's letting you know that, you know, virtuous women, they're not just walking around out here. But anyway, brothers, we're going to go ahead and dive into this. You know, we're going to listen to some of their conversation at the Red Table Talk. We're going to see Will slap the shit out of Chris Rock. And we're going to analyze. You know what I'm saying? And so, with that being said, brothers, let's get to it. Let's analyze.
This red table for me, just all the stuff that's going on in the press. I felt like it was important to come to the table to really clear the air. Somebody made a statement for me that wasn't a statement I made, that went cray-cray.
And one of the reasons why I wanted to come to the table is the media, the headlines. We specifically never said anything.
Yeah.
We were purposely not saying anything. Any headline that says Jada said or Will said or the Smith said is not true. We specifically never said anything.
Right.
So coming to the table was like, we just felt like it got to the point where you gotta say something.
Yeah, and to stop that cycle.
Yeah.
You know, there's people's feelings involved.
Right.
You know, and at the end of the day, I don't like how all of this came to be. That doesn't matter. It's all love, honestly. And I would usually not, you know, that would be something I wouldn't comment on at all.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like it's a situation that I consider private.
You just feel like it ain't really nobody's
business.
Yeah.
But
yeah. But now Black Twitter has claimed it as their business.
But you know, I feel like it's healing that needs to happen. And I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
Even though this is minuscule, I do feel like it's these kinds of things that create the world that we're in. And the idea of not communicating, not talking about it, not clearing the air, and just being as transparent.
Well, I disagree. What creates the world that we are in, from my perspective, is that most people are out for themselves, right? They're out for self-gratification. They only love themselves. They only care about themselves, right? They only care to do what makes them happy, not, you know, if their actions could affect the happiness of the people around them. And I say that that's most people. And she even mentioned, you know, it takes healing. Most people aren't truly doing the work that it takes to heal from whatever traumas or trauma that they've had growing up. And what they tend to do is, you know, they latch on to other broken people, or they latch on to individuals who haven't experienced the same amount of trauma that they've experienced. And they put them through trauma, right? They create another broken individual. So that's what creates the world that we are in. Jada Pinkett, you know, she knew that August Alsina, he wasn't right mentally. You know, and she prayed on him. It's no other way around it.
Just being
Absolutely.
transparent.
And I'm here with you.
Yeah, I thank you for that, because you've been on a hell of a journey with me.
He said, and I'm here with you. And she said, and I thank you for that, because you've been on a hell of a journey with me. With a little smirk on her face. You know, basically, I've been putting you through hell, and you are still here.
So that's what we're going to start with.
We're
Is
gonna
that
start
this
with-
is a very personal journey
Yep.
that became very public
Yes, absolutely.
for whatever reason.
So what happened, Jada?
What happened was she fucked that singer.
Okay, so let's start with, I guess about 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was about 4 years ago. Started a friendship with August. And we actually became really, really good friends.
Brothers, I said it in a previous video that men and women aren't meant to be friends. Men and women are not meant to be friends. I don't care who disagrees. If you have a wife and she has a male friend, especially a new male friend, and they become really, really good friends, you know, what are the chances that something could happen? What are the chances that, you know, if she was at a quote-unquote vulnerable point and she threw some coochie at him, that he wouldn't catch it? I think those chances are very low. I think the chances are very high that if she threw some coochie at him at a quote-unquote vulnerable point, that he'd catch that shit like Jerry Rice.
And it all started with him just needing some help. You know, me wanting to help his health, his mental state.
Because
you
for
know?
me, that was the thing when Og first came around, he was really sick.
He was
You
really,
know.
really sick, yeah.
And the outpouring for him from our family was initially about his health.
Well, the outpouring from your family started with his health, and the outpouring from your wife was making sure that he didn't have erectile dysfunction from his health.
Yeah. And I mean, we found all those different resources, you know, to help pull him through. And from there, you know, you and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah,
And we decided.
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to
I
the
was
curb.
done with you.
Yeah.
For some reason, I can't shake the feeling that Will saying I was done with your ass was scripted into this conversation. But, you know, a lot of so-called black women, they love to hold on to the fact that Will and Jada, they both agreed that they were separated at the time that Jada, she slept with August Alsina. You know, but when they say that, all that does is show me that they don't truly value marriage, right? Because whether we're separated or not, you're supposed to keep your legs closed. You're still my wife. Until we are divorced and you are, you know, completely from up under my hedge, completely from up under my possession, and you are another man's wife, your legs are supposed to be closed, even if we are separated. And, you know, a lot of women would say, well, what if he was out having sex with other women? That's the difference between men and women, right? A man can have more than one wife or more than one woman. It is what it is. But even still, brothers, when I say that, I don't say that and want you brothers to be appalled if you do, you know, quote unquote, separate from a woman and she does sleep with another man. No matter how we feel, we always have to deal with reality. If that's what she does, then, you know, it's on you whether you want to continue to deal with that woman or not. But, you know, a brother like me, I'm cutting that short right there.
Marriages have that, though. Marriages have that.
Yeah, we broke up.
We decided that we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll figure out how to make myself happy.
Well, at that
Well, we all know she did that.
particular point in time, it was indefinite.
Yeah, I really felt like we could be over. You
Yeah,
know?
no, we were over.
And
Will said, I felt like we could be over. Jada said, no, we were over. Sounds like they were on two totally different pages. Will didn't see them as over. Jada did. So, you know, Jada does what women do when they move on. They move on.
then what did you do, Jada?
Well, you know, I think from there, you know, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement. with August.
Entanglement. You mean affair? You mean sexual relationship? You mean friends with benefits? You mean cut buddies? Come on, man, get out of here.
One thing I want to get clear about and clean up, one of the things that was kind of swirling in the press about you giving permission, which is, the only person that can give permission in that particular circumstance is myself.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that goes into the three-dimensional aspect of this video when it comes to permission, because, they both know that what they're talking about is going to go over most people's heads. And that's fine. That's fine. But when it comes to permission, of course, Will gave August the okay to lay down with his wife. He didn't see a problem with it. But like I said, we're mostly going to deal with this video from the two-dimensional aspect.
But what August was probably trying to communicate, because I could actually see how he would perceive it as permission, because we were separated amicably. And I think he also wanted to make it clear that he's not a homewrecker.
Or maybe August just isn't that high up in the ranks.
Which he's not.
I think so. I mean, because this is your red table, and you brought yourself to the red table. I think you need to say clearly what happened.
Right, an entanglement. Come on, man, be real. You got me on this damn show. Say what the fuck happened.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I was in a lot of pain, and I was very broken.
Well, I thought you said that August was broken. And, this was about healing him. But you was broken as well. That's why I said broken people, they try to cling on to broken people or people who haven't experienced as much trauma as them. And they lay some amount of trauma on them and break them as well. Right? But, if Jada knew that man was broken, why would she go lay down with him? You're a grown-ass woman. August is a young man. Right? And August is a grown man as well, but my point is, Jada is older. She was not supposed to lay down with no damn August Alsina, especially as a married woman. Right? You fucking this man head all up. Bro was probably falling in love, all type of shit. You probably broke it off, fucked his head all up. Right? I mean, that's his fault, but at the end of the day, you knew what you was doing. And for the fact that you said you want to help this man, you want to heal this man, that was a lie. That was a lie.
Now, in the process of that relationship, I definitely realized that you can't find happiness outside of yourself.
So you realized why you was banging it out with August, that you was doing the wrong thing, and now he got to suffer.
And luckily enough, you and I were also going through a process of healing in a much different manner. I would definitely say we did everything that we could to get away from each other, only to realize that that wasn't possible.
But hey, brothers, I'm not going to speak on that. I'm going to keep this 2D.
So we come to the red table. So I'm in the Jada position right now. So,
okay.
You during that time launched into an interaction with August.
Will, like, bitch, say it.
What do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good.
Sheesh. She just wanted to feel good, brother. It had been so long since she felt good. Hey, they say if you don't want to know the answer to a question, then don't ask the question. Look at this man's face. Brother looking sick. But, even still, most things are about, the fleshly aspect with women. She just wanted to feel good. She wasn't thinking about, how this would affect her family, how this would affect her family's image. Right? Will now looks weak in the public eye, and Will definitely looks weak to real men. Right? Even with him going up there and slapping Chris Rock. That was some weak ass shit. And like I said, man, that was the brokenness in a man and him at his lowest point. Even with him supposed to be at his highest point. And, if you ask me, that was definitely penciled in or, scripted in. But even still, from the two-dimensional aspect, and you just looking at it from a point of a man being in control of his relationship and a man being in control of his emotions, Will did not handle that correctly. But, it's an embarrassment ritual, so that's how I gotta go.
And it was really a joy to just help heal somebody.
Yeah.
She really believes herself. You didn't heal anybody. You just boned them. And you just placed your issues on them. You didn't heal that man. The man making songs telling exactly what happened between y'all two. That man's not healed. What is she talking about? She really believe herself.
I think that has a lot to do with my codependency.
Hey, brothers, any woman who wears an ankh around her neck, red flag.
Which is another thing that I had to learn to break in the cycle. Just that idea of needing to fix and being drawn to people that need help, whether it's your health or whether it's your addictions.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about that childhood trauma that feels as though it can be fixed through fixing people.
Mm-hmm.
Jada Pinkett Smith is crazy as hell.
Versus fixing me.
Yeah.
And I think that whole process with R really showed me that and taught me that. And I'm really grateful for that lesson.
I feel like that husband, like I'm with you at the press conference.
You know what's crazy? It's March 30th, 2022. For Jada to say in 2020 that she learned a lesson from her relationship with August Alsina, and at the time of this video, they said that incident was about 4 years ago. And for the things that she's done publicly after this video was put out, it shows you that she hasn't learned anything. And that there has been, no form of rectification between her and Will Smith's relationship. I don't care what they say on here. You can see it all over Will Smith's face that man is not happy. That man is not at peace with this woman. She brings him zero peace. Right? And it's crazy because, growing up, you always saw Will as, he was always goofy. But even still, Will was a man who had some form of alpha in him. But watching, this Red Table Talk, you can clearly see that, his wife emasculates. She emasculates him on the regular.
I'm that husband. Now I got to be with you at the press conference while you tell the world about your transgressions. I love my baby. I'm gonna stand by my baby no matter what.
You see, Will just told you that this shit is embarrassing.
Well, I definitely understand why it would look that way or feel that way, but I actually don't look at it as a transgression at all.
So why would you sit here and say that you understand? Your husband just said that it's a transgression. And now you say you don't look at it as a transgression. So you don't understand. I mean, that's simple. Brothers, are you paying attention? Are you listening? Don't see, don't hear. Watch, listen. Listen to the things that people say. She doesn't see it as a transgression. She doesn't care that she laid down with August Alsina. It's not a transgression. It's not a big deal. She doesn't care how it makes Will feel. He can call it a transgression all he wants. It's not a transgression to her. So, let's move forward, Will.
Through that particular journey, I learned so much about myself and was able to really confront a lot of emotional immaturity, emotional insecurity, and I was really able to do some really deep healing.
Well, as I stated earlier, that as recent events have happened after this video was put out, we've learned that that's not true. She's still very immature, hasn't done any healing, still a compulsive liar, still isn't submissive to her husband, still doesn't care to protect his peace.
And as I came through and started to realize certain things about you and I, he decided to break all communication with me, right, which was totally understandable.
As it should have been from both ends. He should have broken all communication with you the moment you tried to lay down with him, and you should have been fine with that because you're married.
Right.
And I let that be and hadn't talked to him since. So it is a little weird that all this stuff is coming out now, since this was...
Yeah, because for me, this was years ago, right?
It can be 20 years old. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're over it. One man that he has children with, the man has made millions of dollars, has made hit movies, right? Has won awards on top of awards on top of awards. And his wife dogs him out. That's a major blow to his ego. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's over it just because it was years ago.
So the fact that it's coming up now, and I think it could feel weird for people that we're laughing and talking about it, but
it happened so long ago.
And our experiences of working through it, fighting through it, talking through it, and therapizing through it, I think that the why now is weird.
Yeah, when I say it's been a huge healing on my life.
The why now is because August decided to go public with it. But Jada continues to say that she received a lot of healing from her encounter with August Alsina. But I thought it was about healing August. I thought, them taking August in was about helping August heal. So which one is it? And because, I asked that question because August, he did not receive any healing from his encounter with Jada Pinkett Smith at all. And truth be told, she didn't either. All it was, a quote-unquote friendship with him and Jaden Smith. Next thing you know, it turned into a sexual relationship with August Alsina and Jada Pinkett Smith. August is still a broken individual. Jada is still clearly crazy as hell.
And just what I had to confront and discover, about myself.
What did you discover about yourself? That you a hoe?
The ugly truths and the beauty. So it was something that I felt like wasn't really ready to be discussed because it hadn't been that healing, because he hasn't wanted to, Og and I haven't talked and
he hasn't wanted to communicate with you anymore? Was that what you were about to say?
so long, you know what I mean? So I don't know, this all seemed very strange, but I'm grateful for the journey that you and I have had together, because I feel like there are a lot of couples that go through those periods, and a lot of couples that have to separate and think it's over. And, you know, the one thing I'll say about you and I is that there's never been secrets.
Right. We came together young, and we were both broken in our own ways, and to be able to make mistakes without the fear of losing your family is so critical.
Will is acting and walking on eggshells as he speaks. Will is a great actor, but he's not fooling me.
Is the idea of any relationship and trying to get to deeper understanding of love is going to be forged in fire.
So, to find deeper understanding of love, that means my wife gotta take the rod of another man. Is that what you're saying?
There's no way around it. And I think that one of the things that I'm deeply grateful in this whole process between you and I is that we have really gotten to that new place of unconditional love.
Because I wasn't sure I was ever going to speak to you again.
I know.
Yeah, like the fact that I'm speaking to you again is a miracle.
I would agree.
No, but it ain't for the weak at heart. There's just certain things that you have to go through, and it's like...
And I wish, you know, I wish that wasn't the case.
Not that I wish that it didn't happen, or that I wish that, you know, it didn't go down like that. Just, I wish it wasn't the case, that you don't have to go through certain things. And this is actually horrible advice for younger individuals who are looking at a video like this because, you know, especially so-called black people, our younger generations, they already look at love as something that has to be toxic, right? They already love to put their hands on each other, you know, sleep around with different individuals. That's not how this is supposed to go. But you have videos like this going viral. You have situations like this going viral to where everybody is in the business of Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith and still seeing them together. And then you see Will go on stage and slap the shit out of Chris Rock. You think that, okay, this is what love looks like. Yeah, we're going to have, you know, our bumpy roads where we cheat on each other. But after that, we're going to get back right. No. Brothers, your wife is not supposed to lay down with any other man, no matter how she feels, no matter how upset she is, until y'all have signed divorce papers, or for brothers who are in the knowledge, you know, you give her a bill of divorce. Your woman is not supposed to be touched by any other man. Period. That's off limits.
I do. I wish that wasn't the case.
I sure wish it could be all magic and mirror.
Yeah. You got to go through some to get the answers. You know, and I'm just happy because I definitely believe that you and we never, ever, ever thought that we would make it back.
Yeah, there's a real power in the just knowing somebody's riding with you no matter what.
Truth be told, brothers, this may be controversial, but it is what it is. You're not supposed to have somebody's back no matter what. Not no matter what. There's certain lines that are not supposed to be crossed. Your wife is not supposed to lay down with another man because y'all are quote-unquote separated. And even still, brothers, when that term separate comes up, that's just an excuse for your woman to try some new dick. That's really all that is. So, as I continually state, man, it's up to you if you're going to, it's up to you if you're going to continue that relationship with her after y'all quote-unquote separated. But if you're going to take her back, just have it in the back of your mind, man, that it's a strong possibility. It's stronger than not.
And you really can't know that
until you go
through some stuff, you know. I don't want to go through this no more.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Yeah. I'm going to get you back first, And then
You gonna get me back? I think you got me back. I think we're good on that. Okay.
Okay, that's probably true.
But and I don't think it's about getting anybody back.
No, for me it is.
Okay.
Will is dead serious about that get back.
I'll give you that petty. That's what you want. But I will definitely say it's just part of it.
Yeah.
If you expect to be with somebody for a lifetime.
25 years and counting.
We ride together.
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. This type of stuff it's a horrible influence on the generations that are coming behind, and watching marriages like this and thinking that this is the way. Right, ride together, die together, bad marriage for life. No, your marriage is supposed to be peaceful. You're supposed to have a good marriage, a fruitful marriage, right? A relationship where you can communicate with one another, where you can love one another, right? Both of you can walk in your roles as husband and as wife, right? Where you two flourish, where you two provide an environment around one another, where you can be yourself. Not continually embarrass one another, not continually, lay down with other people. That's not what marriage is. And even if a man has more than one wife, right, that doesn't mean that he's supposed to be loose with his Johnson, right? You're not supposed to just be out here laying down with a whole bunch of women. Nah, that's not what manhood is. That's not what manhood is about, right? If you have women, you are loyal to your women. If you have a woman, be loyal to your woman. If you're a monogamous man, if you tell your woman you're monogamous, then be that. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with being monogamous. There's nothing wrong with being polygynous. But, just keep it 100. And at the same time, like I said, brothers, your wife is not supposed to be being touched by different men. I don't care who disagrees with that. It is what it is. Okay, so brothers, this is now the famous, or rather infamous, clip of Will Smith getting up to slap Chris Rock at the Oscar Awards for the G.I. Jane joke that Chris Rock made about Jada Pinkett Smith. So let's get to it. And for all intents and purposes, it was pretty much well known that Will Smith was going to win the Oscar that night.
You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
So, brothers, a lot of people will say that this joke that Chris Rock made toward Jada Pinkett Smith was distasteful because Jada Pinkett Smith suffers from a hair condition called alopecia. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you brothers know what alopecia is. For women, I'm 99% sure that most women know what alopecia is, right? But I say that to say a lot of individuals suffer from alopecia. A lot of brothers may know an individual that suffers from alopecia, or several individuals that suffer from it. I myself know an individual that suffers from alopecia, right? And I have heard her crack jokes about her hair condition. So, to me, I don't see it as distasteful. I see it as what stand-up comedy has always been. If the stand-up comedian sees someone in the crowd that he feels that he wants to crack a joke on, he's gonna go for it. So, you have to understand where you are and the nature of the environment that you are in. If you can't take a joke, don't go to the Oscars where you have an individual like Chris Rock who just may look in the crowd and see someone and crack a joke on them. So when I look at this clip and I see Will smiling and Jada, she's not too fond of that joke, I slick get the same vibe from the couple, because Of course, I mean, it's all over Jada's face that she didn't like that damn joke. But what I get from Will is a smile as a defense mechanism. And I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but this is just my perspective, right? Will's ego was bruised in that moment when Chris Rock said what he said about Jada. And, you know, a lot of people, they tend to try to laugh something off when they are embarrassed. But that's just my perspective.
That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Yes, he did. That's why I keep saying Will Smith slapped the shit out of Chris Rock. because that's what Chris Rock said. But in all seriousness, Chris Rock shouldn't have let Will Smith walk up on him like that. I mean, you just cracked a joke about a man's wife. You may know Will to be a comedian and think that he may take this in good stride. But even still, you don't allow another man to walk up on you like that. And as far as Will, he definitely slapped the shit out of Chris Rock. But, you know, just to me, when Will turned around, he was smirking. Right? But that's just, like I said, that's my perspective. You know, I believe that this was staged. But at the end of the day, you know, we're dissecting this from the two-dimensional perspective. And that pretty much showed me that, you know, unless that man got up, Chris Rock I'm speaking of, unless Chris Rock stated something personal about Jada, right? Called her a bald-headed bitch or something like that and said that, you know, your shit ain't gonna ever grow back or something like that to that nature. That's when you have to get up and defend your wife. But for Chris Rock to just say G.I. Jane 2, hey man, it's the game that you in. All right.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay.
And honestly, from the conversation that Will and Chris Rock had after Will slapped Chris Rock, it kind of leads me to believe that Chris Rock wasn't necessarily told about the ritual that was going to take place tonight. He was just told to say the joke. Because Chris, you know, and maybe I may be wrong, these guys are actors. So I'm pretty sure they can act this situation out like it's nothing. But it does seem that Chris Rock was caught off guard. Even when he was about to say something else and Will cut him off, told him to keep his wife's name out of his fucking mouth. It seemed genuine from Chris Rock. But, you know, I may be wrong. But the whole point is, brothers, you don't want to embarrass yourself like that. Where was Jada when Will got up? Why didn't she hold him back and say, hey, babe, I see the frustration all over your face. Just let it go. I'm frustrated too. But tonight is your night. You're going to win the Oscar. This is going to take away from it. Where was that? But Jada brings no harmony, no peace to Will. So he felt like he had to get up and do that. Right? And honestly embarrassed himself a little more because for men who look at Jada for what she is, which is a hoe, we look at that and say, damn, you defending this shit? You defending this hoe? And that's just me being honest. So, you know, like I said, bro, a man should protect his wife's honor. But context is everything. And the context of this was, you know, a man's wife has been embarrassing him, emasculating him, telling him that it's been so long since he's felt good. And it took another man to make her feel good. I mean, all of this stuff right? Saying that, you know, her action was not a transgression, even though her husband said it was a transgression, right? And our community, as so-called black people, we always tend to just want to defend women. But no, every woman does not deserve a man's defense, especially just random women. So this is something that brothers are going to have to really take a look into and really think about, because when you're, and I say this with all due love and respect, but when you are an individual like myself who takes a stance, you know, will flat out say that no, this woman was wrong in this instance, you have to understand that most women, they're going to dislike you, right? And when I say that, I mean they dislike the truth. They may find you attractive, intelligent, you know, this, that, all of the above, but they won't like your demeanor. They won't like that you can call out their bullshit. So they'll say things like, oh, you're a misogynist, or you're a know-it-all, oh, you hate women, just for calling out the truth. So brothers, we always have to be circumspect of that. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small, right? And do not be no fucking simp. And honestly, looking at Jada's baldness, for brothers who have a sense of understanding, you know, when you turn the scriptures to Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16 on down, that's one of the curses that comes to the daughters of Zion when they walk with one-time eyes and having stretched forth necks, right? They're disobedient. They are raising the next generation to be toxic, right? Like verse 12 says. So, you know, Jada's baldness is no surprise to me. So I'd say all that, brothers. And, you know, we're done analyzing here. I hope you brothers gain some edification from this video. With all that being said, yo.